Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the sequence. Welcome back to the vlog. I am Tony, and this is Tony versus the World.
You already know what time it is.
And we're back like we never left. This is Tony versus the World, and I am your humble and gracious host, Tony. Guess what? We're gonna go back to one of my most favorite continents on the planet Earth, Africa, today. You guys seem to like these videos, and guess what? You're not gonna be disappointed with this one. So for this particular video, we're gonna go back to Kenya, one of my most favorite countries in the whole continent. So more specifically, we're gonna go to a place called Fort Jesus. You're gonna get to see some of the history of the east coast of Africa and some of the museums and things like that. So I put together this little video. It's gonna be a lot better than the last couple of ones. So stay tuned, check it out, come back and let me know what you guys think after the break. Here we go.
Uko tayari?
Before going into Fort Jesus and looking around, I took in a couple views on the rocks of the Mombasa harbor. And man, you can see everything from here. On the other side, the beach apartments and the villas. Yeah, that's where I need to be. You would never know Kenya is so beautiful without being here. Coming into Fort Jesus, you actually forget it was actually a military position. I mean, by the views this place offers, you'd think it was a 5-star hotel. Before you get to the fort, there's a bunch of locals outside offering to be guides and take you around and explain a bunch of things. But I kind of like to walk around myself and just take everything in. Hey, so right now we're in Mombasa, Kenya. This is actually Fort Jesus. This is a big fort built by the Portuguese to protect the east coast of Africa when they once invaded this particular piece of land. So we're gonna go check it out and see all the artifacts here. This is a skeleton of a Portuguese soldier I found under plexiglass in the fort. It's cool you get to see some of these things. In the museum section of the fort, they have replica models of all the boats that brought all the Portuguese over to the fort to protect this area. That's pretty cool too. Outside, you can walk through all the passageways and actually go underneath the fort. These doors are still standing, original wood from back when the conflict was taking place. And believe it or not, this says Hatari, which actually means danger in Swahili. I guess the idea was behind these doors, yeah, it's danger. The museum portion of the fort has all these African artifacts and art pieces that you can actually look, buy, and this was just a great experience to see all of these things. This is a Masri Hall. This is part of the Oman House, and this is where you can see all the pictures and read about the history of the fort in itself. Now, actually, outside of the fort, I actually stumbled upon this, and this was pretty cool. The very first hotel in Kenya. That's neat. Directly on the road outside of the fort, you can see people doing woodwork, making all types of tables and everything. This is pretty cool too. Something I didn't notice till I saw these shots and read about it afterwards, the fort is actually in the shape of a man. That's pretty cool. And you can see how the fort would actually be a strategic position right there at the entrance of the harbor. So nobody could come in unless they really wanted them to. Pretty smart. One of the things I learned about traveling around the world, I like going to these museums and reading about the history of these places. It's more interesting than you might think. Alright, hope you guys like that. Like I said before, Kenya is one of my most favorite countries to go to. I mean, you never know how beautiful these places are until you get out of your comfort zone and just go visit them. Go see what these places have to offer. I hope these videos inspire you guys to go out outside of your comfort zone and stop going to the regular places. Go see something different. You never know what you might find. You might like it. I just want people to expand their horizons and go see different places. But enough about that. Let's talk about the video. So in the video, inside of the fort, that skeleton there, believe it or not, I found out that was actually a replica of a skeleton that's actually buried directly underneath the skeleton. Obviously, they don't want to damage the real skeleton, so they put a replica on top so all the people could view it. There's also a replica of a huge humpback whale that's there that I didn't get any footage of. It's literally about 20 or 30 feet long. It's huge. And that was just one of the most craziest things that I've ever saw. I mean, you got to think about it. 20 or 30 feet long, that's longer than a bus. And it's a skeleton of a whale that's there. That was pretty cool. Like I said before in the video, the museum is actually placed on the water by the harbor, and it's actually there to protect the harbor so nobody could come in or out, obviously, if they didn't want them to. And, you know, just right there being on the water and getting to see that blue water and all the nice views and the villas that are across the way there, that's one of those things you got to see for yourself. Hopefully you guys take my advice upon some of these things and go see for yourself. That's the whole purpose of these things, and I hope you guys like it. Come back next time. As I keep saying before, I got plenty more of these videos. It just takes a little bit of time to put together. So stick with me. I'll stick with you, and let's do this again next time. Tony versus the world. Let's go.